Is Chelsea quietly falling apart? A look at what is really going wrong at Stamford Bridge, from the pitch to the boardroom. Let me ask you something straight. When was the last time you watched Chelsea play and actually felt confident they were going to keep a clean sheet? When was the last time you saw the back four hold firm, stay organized, and shut a game down properly? It has been a long time, has it not? Right now, Chelsea are going through one of the messiest periods in recent memory, and what makes it worse is that the problems are not just on the pitch, they are off it too. The finances are a mess. Key players are flirting with other clubs. An academy talent who could solve a major problem is being ignored, and the club just posted a record loss that no Premier League side has ever posted before. This is not a bad run of form. This is a club that needs to look itself in the mirror and make some serious decisions. So let us break it all down together, piece by piece, and figure out what on earth is going on at Stamford Bridge. The Colwill problem, nobody talks about enough. If you want to understand why Chelsea's defense has been so all over the place this season, the answer is simple. Levi Colwill has not played a single minute. Not one. Think about that for a moment. The player who is supposed to be the foundation of this backline, the one who brings calm, reads the game well, and gives the team something to build from, has been absent for the entire season. Both Enzo Maresca and Liam Rosignor have had to build a defensive unit without their best centre-back. That is an enormous thing to ask of any manager. 0 minutes played 25-26 for Levi Colwill. 2 managers this season, both without Colwill. 12 goals conceded. Post Acheampong last start. There is still a small hope that Colwill could return before the end of the season. Chelsea are holding on to that. But more importantly, they are already planning for next season with the idea that he will be fit and available, and they want to build the defense around him and one other solid centre-back. That is actually a smart approach. It shows the club believes in Colwill long-term. The question is, who is going to be the player standing next to him? If Colwill is fully fit next season, who do you trust most to partner him at the back? Would you go with an academy player like Acheampong, or spend money on someone proven in the Premier League? Because that is where this whole conversation gets really interesting. Chelsea are out there talking to agents, looking at Premier League names, drawing up lists, and all the while the answer might already be in their own squad, pulling on the training kit every single day, waiting for a chance that never seems to come. Josh Acheampong is being completely wasted. Here's a stat that should make every Chelsea fan stop and think. Since Josh Acheampong last started against Leeds, Chelsea have played multiple games, won just one of them, and conceded 12 goals. 12. In the same period, Acheampong has played 3 minutes of Premier League football. 3. 2 of those games, he was not even in the matchday squad. 3 PL mins since Leeds start Josh Acheampong. 6-3 height Acheampong. 1 win in that same run Chelsea FC. Now let us think about what Chelsea say they want in a new centre-back. They want height. They want physicality. They want someone who can dominate in the air, hold their ground, and give the defense some proper presence. Those are reasonable things to want. Acheampong stands at 6'3". He is physically strong. He is comfortable on the ball. When he has played, he has looked assured. He does not look like a youngster finding his feet. He looks like someone who belongs at that level. A player who fits everything Chelsea say they want is already at the club. So why is he being ignored while the team keeps conceding goals? And yet here we are. Chelsea are apparently talking about spending money in the transfer window to bring in a centre-back, while a player who already fits the brief is being left out of squads entirely. That is not a decision that is easy to defend. What makes it even more worrying is this. Big clubs have noticed Acheampong. There is interest from other teams who can see what Chelsea seem to be missing. The reports say Chelsea are unwilling to sell, but how long does a young player stay patient when he is not getting any minutes? How long before he decides that his career matters more than loyalty to a club that is not playing him? This is a situation Chelsea really cannot afford to get wrong. They have already been criticized for neglecting their academy. They have spent enormous amounts of money on players from outside the club while letting their own talent go underused. Acheampong could be the moment they get it right, or he could be another name added to the long list of Chelsea academy players who had to leave to prove themselves. Do you think Acheampong should be starting for Chelsea right now? And if he keeps being left out, would you understand if he asked for a move in the summer? Van Hecke and Senesi, are these the right answers? So who are Chelsea actually looking at bringing in? The names being linked are Jan-Paul Van Hecke and Marcos Senesi. Both are Premier League defenders, both have experience, and Senesi in particular is interesting because he is expected to leave on a free transfer. That means no transfer fee, just wages. For a club that is posting record losses, a free transfer makes a lot of financial sense. Senesi has shown over the last couple of seasons that he is more than capable at this level. He is a left-footed centre-back who can play out from the back, and he brings a level of experience that the current Chelsea backline lacks badly. Van Hecke is a different kind of player, more aggressive, good in the air, strong in one-on-one situations. He fits the physical profile Chelsea are looking for. But he would cost a fee, and with the financial situation Chelsea are currently in, spending big on a centre-back when you have Acheampong already there does raise some real questions about priorities. The supporters have been calling for more experience at the back for a while now. That is a fair point. But there is a difference between adding experienced players to guide young ones and completely ignoring the young ones in favor of yet another outside signing. Chelsea have done the second option too many times already. Would you rather see Chelsea sign Senesi on a free and give Acheampong a chance to compete for the starting spot, or go all in on an expensive option like Van Hecke? What does the club actually need more right now? Record losses and a club with something to hide. Now we need to talk about something that goes beyond tactics and transfer targets, because what is happening off the pitch at Chelsea is just as alarming as what is happening on it. Chelsea have posted a loss of £262 million. That is the biggest loss any Premier League club has ever recorded. Let that number sit with you for a second. £262 million lost in a single year. No other club in the history of the Premier League has ever lost that much money in one season. 262 record PL loss, pounds. Chelsea FC 2025-26. 270 profits from sales women's team and property, 1 PL clubs with bigger loss, none. This is the record. Financial expert Kieran Maguire has been watching this closely, and his take is not a comfortable one for Chelsea. He believes the club has been slow to publish their financial results, and he does not think that delay is accidental. His view is that if a club has nothing to hide, there is no reason to hold back the accounts. The fact that Chelsea have not been transparent suggests, in his words, that they may have something to hide. Now, to be fair, Maguire also says that at this moment he is not too worried from a PSR perspective. The reason is that Chelsea booked around £270 million worth of profits across the 2 previous seasons by selling their women's team and some property assets. Those 2 things together roughly cancel out the current loss, which means they are not yet in the kind of danger that would bring Premier League punishment. The question is not just whether Chelsea broke the rules. It is whether the way they are running this club is actually sustainable at all. But there is a bigger concern hiding behind the PSR conversation. Maguire mentioned the possibility that Chelsea may choose to write off the value of Mykhailo Mudryk. In simple terms, that would mean accepting that the money spent on him is gone and removing him from the books as an asset. That is a one-time cost, and it would not affect next year's accounts. But it is also an admission that one of the biggest signings of the Bailey era was a complete failure. Think about what that says about how this club has been run. Hundreds of millions spent, record losses, selling the women's team and property just to stay within the rules, and still the money seems to disappear faster than it comes in. Does the £262 million loss change how you feel about Chelsea's spending in the summer? And do you think the club owes fans more transparency about where all this money is actually going? Enzo Fernandez, Cucurella, and the fear of another big sale. On top of everything else, Chelsea fans are now dealing with the uncomfortable reality that one of their most important players may be on his way out. Enzo Fernandez has publicly talked about his admiration for Real Madrid. That is not something that happens by accident. When a player at that level, signed for a world record fee, starts speaking warmly about another club in public, it usually means something. Chelsea took the unusual step of handing him a 2-game internal suspension over those comments, which tells you they were not happy about it either. And crucially, Fernandez has not signed a new contract. That is the detail that matters most. A player who wants to stay usually sorts out a deal. The fact that nothing has been agreed is a clear sign that both parties are waiting to see what happens. If Fernandez pushes for a move in the summer, Chelsea will almost certainly have no choice but to sell. With a £262 million loss already on the books and no Champions League income guaranteed, keeping a player who wants to leave and losing him for free down the line would be financial madness. They would have to cash in. Marc Cucurella added his own twist to this story by publicly expressing his love for Barcelona earlier in the season. He did eventually sign a new deal with Chelsea, but the fact that he felt the need to say it publicly at all says something about the mood within that dressing room. If Enzo Fernandez leaves Chelsea this summer, how big a blow would that actually be? And is there any player at this club you genuinely trust to stay long-term? This is the cycle Chelsea keep finding themselves in. Spend huge, struggle to get the best out of the players, watch them grow unhappy, sell, repeat. It is not a plan. It is a revolving door. Garnacho is fading, and nobody seems to know how to fix it. Then there is Alejandro Garnacho. Another expensive acquisition who has simply not delivered what was expected. 1 Premier League goal, that is all Garnacho has managed. For a wide attacker brought in with high expectations and real physical tools, 1 goal is nowhere near good enough. And it is not just the numbers. The way he has been playing has frustrated both supporters and the club itself. 1 PL goals this season for Alejandro Garnacho, 0 G or A last 5 games for Garnacho, 0 goals or assists versus Man City latest. According to journalist Matt Law, Chelsea are still actively looking for a left-sided forward. The fact that the search continues is itself a message. If the club were happy with Garnacho, they would not be in the market. The ongoing search is a quiet but clear sign that Liam Rosenior and the people above him do not trust the Argentine to be their answer on that side. What makes the Garnacho situation so frustrating is that Pedro Neto on the other side has not exactly been brilliant either. So Garnacho has had every opportunity to stand up, take his chance, and show why Chelsea bought him. Instead, he has gone the other way. He has become more cautious, more likely to go to ground and win a foul than to drive at defenders and create chances. Garnacho himself has been gracious about his situation. He has said publicly that life at Chelsea is fine and that he is happy. He has not been difficult or caused any problems. But happiness is not the same as form, and right now the form is just not there. With Giovanni Quenda arriving and Morgan Rogers being linked as a possible addition, the writing does seem to be on the wall. Garnacho could be heading out of the door before next season even begins. Is Garnacho already a Chelsea player who has had his chance and wasted it, or does he deserve a proper run under a settled manager and a clear system? Putting it all together, the bigger picture, what is really wrong at Chelsea? When you step back and look at all of these stories together, a clear picture starts to form. And it is not a pretty one. Chelsea are a club that has spent more money than almost any other team in football over the last 4 years. They have signed player after player, manager after manager. They have restructured, rebuilt, and reinvested over and over again. And yet here they are, no consistency at the back. Record financial losses, star players flirting with other clubs, academy talent being left on the bench, a new manager who cannot seem to find a settled team. The money has not bought the one thing that actually wins football games: identity, a clear style, a team that knows what it is and what it wants to be. The Colwill situation is a perfect example of how things have gone wrong. When your best center back misses an entire season, you need solutions. The solution was already there in Acheampong. But instead of trusting him, the club sidelined him and started looking externally. In the time since he last played, Chelsea won once and conceded 12 goals. That is not a coincidence. That is a consequence. The financial situation adds another layer of pressure to everything. When you are posting £262 million losses and potentially having to write off major signings, every decision in the transfer window becomes loaded with risk. Spending big on a center back when you have Acheampong feels impossible to justify, yet signing the wrong person on the cheap could cost the team even more points next season. And behind all of that is the worry about Enzo Fernandez. Lose him and you lose one of the genuine quality players in the squad. Lose him and the rebuild gets even harder. The whole thing feels like it could unravel very quickly if the wrong decisions are made this summer. Chelsea do not just need new players. They need a clear vision, a plan that goes beyond the next transfer window, and the courage to trust what they already have. The supporters have been patient. They have watched season after season of chaos, of promise followed by disappointment, of players coming and going before they ever had the chance to settle. They deserve better than this. They deserve a club that has a plan and sticks to it. Final thought. Chelsea are at a crossroads. The decisions made in the next few months, in the boardroom and in the transfer market, could define the next 3 or 4 years at this club. If they get it right, promote Acheampong, keep hold of Fernandez, sort out the financial transparency, and build around a fit Colwill, there is a real team here waiting to emerge. If they get it wrong, if they spend big on the wrong players again, let good academy talent leave, and continue to hide from hard financial truths, then this chaos becomes the new normal. So we want to hear from you. Leave your thoughts below. Who do you trust at this club right now? Who would you build around? And honestly, do you believe the people running Chelsea actually have a proper plan? Because right now, from where we are sitting, it is not easy to see what that plan is. Join the discussion below.